Let me tell you something, your life will never go higher than your mindset. I don't care what neighborhood you were born in. I don't care what your background is, what resources you had or didn't have. None of that matters if your mindset hasn't caught up with your vision. You can have $1 million dream, but if you're working with a minimum wage mindset, you're always going to stay stuck. And I know that might hurt, but you got to hear it. See, people think life changes when the circumstances change, when the money comes in, when the opportunity shows up, when the right connection is made. But that's not how it works. Life doesn't shift from the outside in, it shifts from the inside out. You can win the lottery and still lose it all if your mind hasn't evolved to handle the weight of wealth. You can get the perfect relationship and destroy it in a month if your mindset is still chained to insecurity. You can get the job, the platform, the influence, but if your mind hasn't matured, none of it will last. That's the truth. It starts with how you think. It starts with the conversations you're having with yourself when no one's watching. When the alarm clock rings at 5 a.m., what are you telling yourself when life hits, when you fail, when you're overlooked? What does your mindset say in that moment? Because that's the battlefield. That's the war zone. And most people lose there long before they ever step into the real world. They lose the battle in the mind. Let me take you back. I remember when I was broke, not just financially, but mentally. I was living small, thinking small, expecting small. I had the talent. I had the potential, but I didn't believe. I was walking around with chains in my mind that nobody could see. I kept thinking, this is all I'm worth. This is all I'll ever be. And I couldn't break through until I stopped looking at what was around me and started changing what was inside me. My breakthrough didn't come from a check. It didn't come from a handout. It came from a shift, a mental decision. I said, no more. I refuse to be a prisoner to my past. I refuse to let fear narrate my future. I'm done living average. That's where it starts. You've got to make a decision to reprogram how you think every single day. You've got to rewire your mind to match the level of your calling. You've got to tell yourself the truth even when it hurts. You've got to look in the mirror and admit where you've been playing small. And then you've got to declare, not wish, not hope, but declare that this is the moment your life starts to change. Because let me tell you something, life will only give you what you demand from it, not what you beg for, not what you dream about, what you demand. And when I say demand, I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about alignment. I'm talking about aligning your thoughts, your habits, your expectations with the greatness inside you. Because if your mindset isn't aligned with your mission will always stay a fantasy. And I don't know about you, but I didn't come this far to fantasize. I came to manifest. I came to build. I came to dominate. But domination starts in the mind. It's in how you wake up. It's in how you respond when life hits. It's in whether you let fear paralyze you or let faith push you forward. It's in whether you listen to the voice of defeat or the voice of destiny. That's the difference. That's the mindset shift. Some of y'all are praying for miracles, but God's waiting for you to shift from excuses to execution, from fear to focus, from doubt to discipline. That's the real miracle, a renewed mind. I need you to understand this. The mindset of a winner is forged in silence. It's shaped in the hours no one claps for. It's built when nobody's watching, nobody's validated, nobody's liking your posts. When you're grinding alone, hurting alone, but you keep going anyway, that's the shift. That's when you rise, not because the world changed, but because you did. And here's the thing, when your mind shifts, your habits shift. When your habits shift, your results shift. It's all connected. But you can't cheat the process. You can't skip the internal work. You've got to confront the fear, confront the laziness, confront the ego, and replace it all with vision, with consistency, with hunger, not hype. Hunger, that relentless fire that says, I know where I came from, but I also know where I'm going, and nothing is going to stop me from getting there. So ask yourself right now, what are the beliefs you're holding on to that are holding you back? What's the voice in your head saying every time you try to grow, every time you try to stretch, every time you say, I want more? What voice is trying to convince you to settle for less? Because you've got to shut that voice down. You've got to starve it and feed the one that says you've got more in you. Because you do. You've got more strength, more resilience, more capacity. But you'll never access it if your mind stays stuck in survival. This is about more than motivation. This is about mental transformation. This is about shifting from wishing to working, from comfort to commitment. Because when your mind shifts, everything else starts to move with it. Your vision gets clearer. Your steps get stronger. Your momentum becomes unstoppable. Your breakthrough is waiting, but it's not out there. It's in here. Shift your mind, elevate your life. Everybody wants to grow, but nobody wants the pressure that comes with it. Everybody wants elevation, but nobody wants to be stretched. Let me tell you right now, you can't get stronger without struggle. You can't grow without grind. You can't rise without resistance. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your training partner. Pain is the pressure that forces growth. You've got to stop running from the very thing that's designed to build you. See, most people see pain as punishment. They think if I'm going through something, something must be wrong. No, something is being built. Diamonds don't form in comfort, they form under pressure. Trees don't grow tall without deep roots being tested by storms. Champions don't emerge from ease. They rise from endurance. So if you're in pain right now, if you feel like life is squeezing you, crushing you, pushing you, good. That means you're in the middle of the process. That means greatness is being developed in you. The reason most people never grow is because they avoid the very situations that make them better. They avoid failure. They avoid discomfort. They avoid rejection, not realizing those things are the fire that forges their character. You can't talk about being resilient if you've never had to bounce back. You can't claim strength if you've never had to stand when everything around you said sit down. You can't develop mental toughness if you've never had to fight through the dark. And let me be real with you. There were times I wanted to quit. There were moments where I was curled up crying, wondering if this journey was worth it. But every single time I wanted to tap out, something inside me said, get up. Don't let the pain be wasted, because that pain had a purpose. That pain was molding me. It was refining me. It was burning off the excuses, the entitlement, the ego, and it was revealing the warrior underneath. You've got to understand, pressure doesn't destroy you. It exposes you. It shows you what you're made of. And if what comes out of you in pain is quitting, bitterness, anger, then that's what was already in you. The pain didn't put it there, it just brought it to the surface. So instead of blaming the pressure, use it. Let it teach you, let it shape you. Let it wake something up in you that comfort never could. See, in this generation, we're too quick to retreat. We hit a wall and we turn around. We hit resistance and we think that's a sign to stop. But resistance is not a sign to stop. It's a sign you're moving in the right direction. You're pushing into new territory. Of course it's hard. You've never been there before. Of course it hurts. You're stretching muscles you've never used before. That's the cost of growth. That's the price of becoming. Everybody wants to win until it's time to work. Everybody wants transformation until it's time to go through the fire. But the fire is what purifies. The fire is what separates the real from the fake. The fire is what turns ordinary into extraordinary. So don't run from it, run to it, embrace it, own it, get in the dirt, get in the grind, and say, I might be bleeding, but I'm still building. Some of y'all are asking for growth, but you're not ready for the pain that comes with it. You want the elevation, but you're scared of the isolation. You want strength, but you don't want the struggle. Listen to me. The greatest version of you is hidden behind the version of you that's scared to suffer. But once you stop fearing the pain and start facing it, you unlock a level of power that nobody can take from you. Let me ask you something. When has comfort ever made you better? When did ease ever produce excellence? When did playing it safe ever lead to greatness? You grow when it's hard. You evolve when it's heavy. You rise when you choose to keep walking through the storm instead of waiting for it to pass. Some storms you don't escape, you endure. And that endurance creates something in you that can't be taught in a book, can't be passed down from a mentor, can't be faked on social media. It's earned in the trenches, in the trial, in the pain. You've got to flip your mindset. Stop saying, why is this happening to me? And start saying, what is this doing for me? Because when your perspective shifts, your power shows up. Pain becomes fuel, pressure becomes training, struggle becomes strategy. That's how you grow. That's how you turn adversity into advantage. That's how you use the hurt, not just survive it. And the beautiful thing is, once you've been through it, once you've overcome something that almost broke you, you walk different. You talk different. There's a confidence that can't be shaken because you know what you survived. You know what you endured. You got the scars to prove it. And those scars, they're not signs of weakness. They're proof that pain tried to take you out and failed. So don't ask to skip the process. Don't wish for it to be easier. Wish to be stronger. Pray for the kind of growth that comes through pressure. Ask for the kind of strength that's built through suffering. Because when you come out on the other side of that, not bitter, not broken, but better, that's when you know you've truly grown. And if you're in it right now, if you're walking through pain, through pressure, through disappointment, stay there. Don't run. Don't numb it. Don't distract yourself. Sit in it. Learn from it. Let it work on you. Let it stretch you, because the version of you that will come out of this will be unrecognizable to the one who went in. Let pain push you. Let pressure grow you. Let the fire forge you. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants breakthrough. But here's the truth most people don't want to face. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. You can say all the right things. You can post all the motivational quotes. You can dream all day. But until your mindset, your habits, your discipline, your energy, until you become the version of yourself that your future demands, nothing is going to change. This is where most people miss it. They think success is about chasing things, chasing money, chasing recognition, chasing goals. But it's not about chasing anything. It's about becoming. You've got to become the person who can carry the weight of the blessing you're asking for. You've got to become the person who can lead the vision you see in your spirit. And becoming requires transformation, not just information. Let me be real with you. You can read every book, take every course, get all the degrees. But if your identity doesn't shift, your reality won't either. Because your life is a mirror reflecting the standard you've set in your mind. If you believe you're average, you're going to perform average. If you see yourself as second place, that's exactly where you'll stay. But if you start moving, speaking, walking like someone who knows their value, the game starts changing. This is not about pretending. It's not about faking it. This is about aligning yourself with the highest version of you. That version of you that's already successful. That version of you that's already healed. That version that walks in confidence, that leads with conviction, that doesn't shrink for anyone. That version of you is already inside you, but you got to make a decision to live like them now, not later. Too many people are waiting for the outside to validate what they haven't accepted on the inside. When I get the job, then I'll feel worthy. When I make 6 figures, then I'll act confident. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to flip the script. You've got to become that person before the breakthrough shows up. Because the breakthrough only comes to people who are ready to carry it. And I get it. It's hard to act like a king when you feel like a servant. It's hard to move like a winner when life keeps hitting you with losses. But that's where the mindset shift happens. You got to stop letting circumstances define your identity. You got to stop letting your current results dictate your belief in yourself. You don't need proof to believe. Belief is what creates the proof. When I was broke, I still carried myself like I was going somewhere. When nobody knew my name, I still spoke like I had something valuable to say. When doors closed in my face, I kept knocking like I belonged on the other side. Not because I was faking confidence, But because I understood that the version of me I needed to become wasn't going to show up by accident, I had to call him out. You've got to call out the leader in you, call out the warrior, call out the focused, hungry, disciplined version of you that's been buried under fear and doubt and insecurity. Because here's the truth. You don't become successful by wishing for it. You become successful by consistently choosing to live like the version of yourself that's already won. So look at your life right now. Look at your habits. Look at your circle. Look at how you carry yourself. Is that the energy of someone who's ready for next level? Is that the posture of someone who's prepared for the blessing they're praying for? Because if the answer is no, good. That means it's time to grow. This is the moment where you draw the line. This is where you stop outsourcing your power. This is where you stop waiting for permission. This is where you stop playing small, hoping life throws you a bone. You weren't made to beg. You weren't made to blend in. You were made to stand out, to rise up, to walk like you know who you are, even if you're still on the way to becoming it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it won't feel fake at first. Of course it will, because your environment will try to remind you of who you used to be. People will try to keep you boxed in by your past, but your past has no power unless you keep feeding it. Every day you wake up and choose to live like the version of you that's built for more, you're starving your old story and feeding your future. You want to change your life, change your identity, change how you speak about yourself, change how you show up in rooms. Stop walking like you're lucky to be there and start walking like you belong. Not because of arrogance, but because you've put in the work, because you've paid the price, because you've grown into it. And hear me, when you start becoming that person, life starts responding. You'll see it. Doors start opening, opportunities start aligning, people start treating you differently, not because they changed, but because you did. Because energy doesn't lie, identity doesn't lie. You attract not what you ask for, but what you are. So stop chasing, stop hoping somebody's gonna hand it to you. Stop waiting for the world to see your value. You see it first, you embody it, you walk in it, talk in it, live in it, until your reality has no choice but to catch up with your identity. Don't become obsessed with the destination. Become obsessed with the version of you that can own the destination. Because when you become that person, the world makes room. You can shift your mindset. You can grow through pressure. You can even become the person your future demands. But if you don't stay consistent, none of it will last. Let me say that again. If you don't stay consistent, none of it will last. Because this game we're playing, the game of greatness, it doesn't reward talent, it rewards grit. It rewards those who show up when it's hard. It rewards those who are consistent, not just when it's exciting, but when it's exhausting. You want results? Then you got to show up when nobody's clapping. You got to show up when the motivation is gone, when the hype fades, when the people disappear. That's when you find out who you really are. Anybody can start. Anybody can post about goals on January 1st, but who's still working on April 22nd, on July 14th, on a random Tuesday when life's throwing punches and the dream still feels miles away? That's where winners are made, in the consistency, in the discipline, in the grind that nobody sees. Because let me tell you something, the life you want, the vision you carry, the greatness you talk about, it's on the other side of your daily decisions. Not the big ones, the daily ones. It's in what you choose to do every day when you don't feel like it. It's in what you do when no one's looking, when no one's applauding, when no one's pushing you. That's the real test. You know what the problem is? Too many people are addicted to moments, not committed to movements. They want that quick hit of inspiration. They want the feeling, the fire, the emotion, but they don't want to build the system. They don't want to master the routine. And I get it, Consistency isn't sexy. Discipline doesn't trend. But that's the difference between those who dabble and those who dominate. One is motivated by feeling. The other is moved by purpose. You can't keep waiting for the right time, the right energy, the perfect environment. There is no perfect moment. You create the moment by showing up with excellence over and over again. You create the momentum by refusing to quit. And yes, some days you're not going to feel like it. Some days it's going to feel pointless. Some days you'll show up and wonder if any of it matters. But those are the days that define you. Those are the days that separate the crowd from the committed. I remember being in that place. Waking up with no applause, no income, no certainty, just a vision, just a belief. And every single day I had to make a decision. Am I going to act like I believe in this, or am I going to fall back into comfort? And let me tell you, most days the feeling wasn't there, but I showed up anyway. Not because I felt like it, but because I decided to become consistent, not emotional. And that decision, that's what changed everything. The truth is, success is boring. It's repetitive. It's not fireworks every day. It's waking up and doing the same thing again and again, but doing it with intention. It's mastering the fundamentals. It's staying locked in when it looks like nothing's happening. But trust me, something is happening. Every rep, every routine, every day you choose discipline over distraction, you're building, you're stacking. And that consistency, that's compound interest. It pays off when others quit. But don't just hear me. Ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? Because consistency will always ask that question every single day. It'll whisper to you when the bed feels too comfortable. It'll tap you on the shoulder when the distractions start calling your name. It'll confront your priorities, expose your patterns, and you've got to answer it. Not with words, but with work. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your systems. So what's your system? What habits are you building? What routines are you committed to? Because your dream doesn't care about how inspired you are. It cares about how consistent you are. Show me your schedule and I'll show you your future. It's that simple. Look, I know you're tired. I know it feels like you've been pushing forever. I know it feels like everyone else is moving faster, getting more, living easier. But don't let comparison kill your consistency. Your journey is yours. Your process is custom built. So stay in your lane. Stay locked in. Stop trying to match someone else's pace and master your own. Because if you keep showing up, rain, shine, broke, tired, unseen, you will outlast the ones who started louder than you. This is where legacies are built. Not in flashes, not in moments of hype, but in the quiet, the repetition, the refusal to quit, and showing up when the results aren't instant. And choosing long-term growth over short-term gratification, and trusting the process even when the progress feels invisible. Because the seed you plant in consistency today, because the fruit you harvest in victory tomorrow, you're not going to feel like it every day. And that's okay. You're not supposed to. Feelings don't make you unstoppable. Habits do. Discipline does. Showing up when it's uncomfortable does. That's what separates those who wish from those who win. That's what makes you dangerous. Not your motivation, but your consistency, your non-negotiables. So let this be the moment you decide. I'm done with starting and stopping. I'm done with almost. I'm done with waiting until I feel ready. From this point forward, I am ready. I'm ready to outwork, outlast, and outdiscipline every excuse that's tried to stop me. I'm done playing the short game. I'm building something real. Consistency is the bridge between where you are and where you're going. Walk it every single day.